our second to the last city council meeting of this calendar year, so it's really difficult to believe that the year has gone so fast. I'm gonna ask Councilman Rustin to lead us in our invocation.
Sure, let us pray. Dear God, thank you so much for the opportunity to join tonight as a group and as a city, Lord, and I thank you so much for that opportunity, Lord. I ask you, God, just to be with us during this time, the last month of the year, and Lord, just thank you so much for a good year for the city and all the people that represent it. And I ask you, Lord, as we go into a new year, that you just continue to be with the city and be with the people that make it go on a day-to-day basis. God, I ask you, Lord, just to be with the meeting tonight. Let the things that are discussed be for the benefit of the city and for its well-being. And Lord, just again, thank you so much for what this season means. And I ask you, Lord, just to be with the families and the friends of all of us and all those that are maybe sick and are hurting. Lord, we thank you so much for that. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen. I'm gonna do something a little bit different, and since we've got Joseph Talley here, Joseph, I'm gonna ask you to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, if you don't mind.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Impromptu, you did fine. It was great. You get a merit badge or something for that, I think. So. Okay, I'm going to ask the clerk to call the roll, and while she's doing that, I'll put the agenda up here for you guys to take a look at.
Councilmember Lilly.
Here.
Mizell.
Here.
Rustin.
Here.
King.
Here.
Phillips.
Here.
Mayor Mitchell.
Here. Give you a few more minutes to take a look at that. Okay. We will move on to the first item, as always, on the agenda, which is approval of the minutes from the November 15th regular council meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Okay, since the council's had those and had the opportunity to review with no corrections or additions, let the record show the minutes were approved by unanimous consent. Okay, we have our department head meetings today. The first thing is the fire department. Chief Howard is not here. And to be honest with you, there's nothing really that has changed on this as far as the fire department's concerned. His staffing's getting a little bit better as far as recruiting some of the volunteers, and everything else on there remains unchanged. Are there any questions about that?
They get their phone lines done, new phones in?
I don't know. Do you know, Charlene?
I'm not sure if they're finished or if they're still working on that. I haven't gotten an update on that yet.
I didn't follow up on it the last time I spoke to him about it. So
Do they have access to phones if somebody calls the fire department?
yeah. Okay, that was a good question. Any other questions? Okay. Library.
Everything looks really good at the library right now. We have started receiving a lot of applications for our part-time library aide position. I have already started scheduling those interviews. They will start Thursday and hopefully go into the next week. I do want to just share with you, October we provided $45,622.55 worth of services. That includes if someone went out and bought a book, that is how much we saved them. This is what we provided for the month of October. For November, we provided $38,349.50. We're kind of happy with that right now, but we do hope that to go up after the holidays are over. We have seen an increase in traffic, however. Those are computer usage, hits on Wi-Fi, everything like that. We did receive a grant from Corley Ellis for purchase of new furniture in the children's department. We have purchased that. It is now set up. We are so excited. Kids come in every day and I hear people say, "Oh my gosh, I love it. Look at the new couch we got." A family came in today and they were building forts with the modular couches and everything. So we're happy and blessed that we have Corley Ellis supporting us that way. And I think that's it.
Okay, just a question. How do the services for October and November of this year compare to previous years? Do you know? Is that?
I have not checked on that. I can check on that report if you're interested, or I can email.
Yeah, I would like to know, and I'd
Okay.
also like to know, is it pretty normal for it to drop in from October to November, shorter month, holidays, that kind of stuff?
I will say that in the end of the year, just because more people are active, doing things, they're going to,
Right.
you know, fall festivals, Thanksgiving, Christmases, people are getting busier, so they're not having enough time or more time to come into the library. That number usually picks up in January. I've been working in libraries for 13 years. It's just typical for it to drop off.
All right, so I look forward to that information. Any other questions for the library? I'm gonna have to come by and look at the furniture. I'll promise not to sit in any little chairs and break them or anything though. Environmental Services, Dale.
We haven't had a whole lot change, this past month, so I really don't have anything on there. The only thing, I got an email this afternoon, we're closing out the CDBG project, December the 15th with our grant writer, so we'll be holding a public hearing with Charlene and, the mayor, if people would like to come. And then the mayor signed the contracts for the Goodwin Street project, so that's about the two major things we've got going on, and they're almost at the end of the project on Highway 70, so they'll be doing cleanup and detail work and come back and lay sod eventually on all that.
Did that CDBG project come in under budget? Over
It did.
budget?
I think it was it right at
I think it was, yeah.
right at $20,000 we saved on that project.
Okay, and so we did not draw all of the grant money, or do you know?
I don't know how that.
Because I
works,
thought there was
Charlene.
like a equitable match. It seemed like
Right.
if it was down, the grant would come down.
Yeah, I just.
But,
I mean, it could be like 10,000 from them, 10,000 from us. We saved.
Yeah.
Me and Charlene have to crunch those numbers.
Where does the project on 70 end?
Sir.
Where does it end when you go?
Just right past Argo Road on the right. And then the new subdivision, they'll tie their sewer onto that.
Are they going up the hill beside Sign Graphics? Daryl?
You mean on the bank side?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, all that excavation's from where they're putting in the new sewer.
Okay.
Any other questions for Dale? Environmental Services, okay, thanks. Community Affairs and Senior Services.
Things are going really well. We kicked off Christmas this past Friday night. The senior center, things are going. We have our Christmas party scheduled on the 16th. Things are going good.
Still need
We
volunteers.
still need volunteers. Wednesdays and Fridays, if you know of anyone who can volunteer to deliver meals. Takes about 2 hours.
Yeah, I'd like to ask everybody to just
Yeah.
reach out to people that you know, and if they're looking for something to do to help the community out, I think Meals on
And it can
Wheels
be
is
once a
a,
month, it can be every week.
Right.
however-
Whatever you can
will.
do is helpful.
Absolutely.
And didn't you say it was like 2 hours?
Yeah, it takes about 2 hours.
And what days again?
Wednesdays and Fridays is when we need someone.
Okay, any other questions for Ally? Okay. I think the only board that has met since the last time we had a council meeting was the library board. Is there anything you need to add that wasn't in your report?
Just that we're getting ready to post our inclement weather policy that we talked about last month.
Okay.
I don't think so. I think, we talked about staffing. It was a really short meeting today.
Yeah, so again, as I mentioned before, you know, the council would like to see that policy before you actually implement it. So
Okay,
if you would, let us take a look at that. I appreciate that.
okay.
Okay, any other questions or comments from the library board? No. Okay. Okay, so the next thing on the agenda is, we've got Joseph Talley here, and he's gonna talk about his, scout project. So I'm gonna try to get this onto your, presentation, Joseph. There you go.
Hello, I'm Joseph Talley. I would like to introduce my Eagle Scout proposal. My Eagle Scout
It's looking good up there.
No, it's not moving.
Oh,
The plan for my Eagle Scout project is to install bike racks across the city of Columbiana. The one you see up there is the preferred version. However, if you disagree and would like a different model, this is our second best option, but if you still disagree, we can conform to whatever your preference should be. We are planning on either installing new concrete or mounting the bike racks into existing concrete at all of the locations we plan to install them at. I chose this because I end up riding my bike a lot, and these locations are ones that I would end up stopping at. The Shelby County Arts Council is a great location because during all the citywide events, there is a large amount of foot traffic and they host many things. It is a city park as well, which increases. And it would work very well with the canopies and the picnic tables around the fountain.
so you wanna put it at the, you're recommending around the colonnade, or more than one at the Old Mill Square?
More than one is what I'm going for.
Okay,
Most of the locations just one. The 500 Club is a very big location because oftentimes children will go down to the pool on their own, on their bikes, and will just have to lay them down on the floor. And I hope to help out with that.
Okay.
It's also near the softball field in case someone's using that. The public library was another location that seemed prominent it's a good place to stop, and it gives free internet for anyone who needs it, and it hosts programs for people of all ages. My little brother over there can build Legos, or my grandmother could be sewing.
you can build Legos too.
The city parks are very good places to install bike racks because, as with the 500 Club, it's a very common place for children to go on their own and have to set up down their bike racks. One of them is also near the softball fields because it's on the same street as the 500 Club, but the other one will be a good place around the new subdivisions at Highway 26 and Highway 70. The courthouse is a good location because it has a large lawn with its own resting area, as well as it's close to many walk-in businesses. Which is the main reason I want to put one along somewhere on Main Street, because you can't exactly take a bike inside of a store, and leaving it on the sidewalk is very restricting. The recreational center is another good location because it is near the tennis courts. It hosts many events for people of all ages. Many people use it. The Piggly Wiggly is a good location in my mind because it is also a walk-in store as the ones on Main Street are. as well as it's the same points as in Main Street, unfortunately. But that was the last location I had in mind. Any questions?
Or you want one at each location?
One at each location. If some of the locations don't work out, I can change the plan and either just not put one there or move somewhere else.
Joseph, with the, obviously the courthouse and the pig and I know the city's different than that, but have you talked to anybody at the courthouse or the Piggly Wiggly? Are they willing to let you do that?
No, sir. But as I said, I can adjust my schedule to what plans to whatever they say.
Yeah.
So,
I think you've got a good map. There's a lot of
I do
coverage.
too.
A lot of coverage there for sure.
Have you done any research on whether it be primary or secondary? Have you done any research on where the bikes are, so to speak, and to help you decide the locations?
I've mainly used reports from just mainly high people in my school as well as my own personal experiences from riding my bike a lot.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, that's the best, that primary
Yeah.
research, because you know where the need is. So.
Yes.
Yeah, I would assume the pool would be the
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say that, but it might not be the best of ideas since my dad's kind of one of the chairmen.
I haven't seen too many adults riding their bikes down there.
I know, but well, I mean, like he owns it, so well, not owns, but you know,
That's right.
yeah.
Just another thought, Joseph. You may want to consider something like at the high school
Oh,
around where.
the problem with the high school is that they don't tend to accept many projects like this.
Okay.
They only accept like their own projects that the high school creates.
But the rec building would be a good place
Yeah.
because you see the kids,
Near the
yeah.
high school.
Can,
Yeah.
can you go back to one, I think it was one of your first charts to show the type of, excuse me,
I like.
bike rack that you're
This one?
recommending?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's simple. One of them will go over it, one of them goes under.
over the holidays, we were visiting our daughter in Greenville, South Carolina, and their downtown Main Street has bike racks like that all up and down Main Street. But what I saw was interesting is, and obviously I feel like you can get them because they had them, but they had them basically half size because a lot of these shops at the different places, there might only be one or two bicycles there, and so you can put quite a few with that size. So you might want to see about the availability of sort of the half size of that one at the top and decide, okay, well, we need a smaller one at this location, a larger one at that location.
Yes, sir. The design stays the same, but there are many different sizes to the
Right.
same design. If you can find one of these to order, you can find the smaller size or a larger size.
So are they ordered or are they made like locally? Do you order them online or?
I'm going to end up ordering them. They're going to be around 300 to 350 for the larger ones. Smaller ones will be a little bit cheaper.
Okay.
And if you're worrying about upkeep costs after installation, there probably won't be much at all. Maybe paint, but
Yeah.
that's about it.
What's your funding source?
Private donators, services like car washes, things like that.
How much you looking to raise? Probably. Don't mean to put you on the
Around-
spot. 3,000 to 5,000 maybe.
Yeah, I'd say 3,000 to 4,000.
Okay.
Probably not going to go.
He was trying to make you do public math.
Oh no, I'm good at math,
do
but
that.
I'm like, okay, but I'm not confident on how. Yeah, exactly.
All right.
I think it's a good project.
I think it's a great
Yes,
project.
it is.
All right.
And
When do you think you may start on it, Joseph?
Whenever it's approved by a BSA and
Okay.
I get the fundraising in, it should take 2 2 to like 4 weeks to install, but fundraising could take a couple of months.
My recollection is too that Main Street Columbiana has considered a similar project. You might talk to them about some financial help.
Thank you for the recommendation. I will.
All right. You just beat them to the punch.
Yeah, I guess so.
Any other questions for Joseph? That's a great job. Appreciate that. That and the Pledge of Allegiance, you took care of that as well. So thank you so much. Okay. Any other discussion or other business that the council would like to bring up? All right, we'll move right along then. All right, the mayor's report. I apologize for the small font. There's a lot of stuff that's gone on since our last meeting. We had our Shelby County Mayor's Association meeting the day following last November 2nd council meeting. And one of the things that was brought up there is they're taking nominations for the Alex Dudchak Community Leadership Award. That's an award that is I guess, given jointly by the Mayor's Association and the Shelby County Chamber. So the last day for nominations is January the 5th. I have someone that I'm considering nominating. Obviously, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag yet, but anybody can go to the Shelby County Chamber's website and get the nomination form and submit a nomination for that. I would certainly love to see some nominees from Columbiana. And they will award the leadership award at the Chamber's annual meeting, which is on January 25th. And I'm not sure if the location for that's been established yet. So. At that meeting, there were nominations of the 2023 Mayor's Association leaders. Tony Picklesheimer is the chairman. Yours truly will be the vice chairman, and the secretary is Kirk Manser. That's the job where you have to do all the work, so none of the mayors will ever volunteer to do that. So Kirk has had that ongoing. The same day, later in the afternoon, we had at the Old Mill Square, 58 Inc. had a Columbiana stakeholders meeting, and they brought in some folks. Ricky were there, some others were there, Charlene. Allie, you were there as well, were you not? I think there's some good things came out of that I would like for us to have some conversation at later this month at a work session, and we can kind of talk about that. I've got a few thoughts, ideas. Ricky, you had a lot of stuff, questions, so you probably have some thoughts and ideas, but anybody else as well. So I thought that was a pretty good meeting. So we had a planning meeting for the grant on the recreation economy for rural communities that Columbiana received on the 21st of November. And there's a lot of stuff that's been going on since then. And I'll talk to you about that a little bit later. And on the 1st of December, we had the Shelby County Diamond Awards here at the Old Mill Square. That was hosted by or sponsored by the Shelby County Reporter and the Chamber. And there were 3 categories, and those 3 categories are Citizen of the Year, Public Servant of the Year, and Nonprofit Organization of the Year. And I am very proud to say that Columbiana won 2 of the 3 awards. Isn't that cute, that little flashing there? Lisa Strickland Davis was the recipient of the Citizen of the Year Award, and Dr. Brooks from the Shelby County Board of Education and our own Allie Payne were co-recipients of the Public Servant of the Year Award. So big congratulations to them. We certainly claim Lisa and Allie, but we claim Dr. Brooks too, since the Board of Education's here at Columbiana. So, and the Alabama Wildlife Center at Oak Mountain State Park was the Nonprofit Organization of the Year. For those of you that I hope were here, I hope everybody was at the Christmas in the Park and the tree lighting and Christmas parade on the 2nd of December. It was an absolutely outstanding parade. Allie had put the information up there on her chart already, and I tell you what, there was a lot of talk about the Polar Express after the parade, and I think we were the first, but I think everybody else is going to have Polar Express at their parades and ceremonies for a while. He's going to be very, very busy. Tomorrow there is a senior summit at the Shelby County Arts Council in the EBSCO Gallery. That is for leadership throughout Shelby County to discuss senior issues. Are you going to be at that, Allie? So, and then after that, Kirk Manser and some folks from the chamber and his consultant are going to come and visit me here at City Hall and kind of go over the chamber's 3-year plan with me. On the 17th of December, Blanket Fort Hope Children's Home, there's a groundbreaking. That site is next to Cornerstone Christian Academy by the softball fields. For those of you who don't know what that is, that's going to be a home for potentially up to 9 girls that have been victims of sex trafficking. And so it's a really, really great project. I hope everybody has an opportunity to get behind it. And obviously the groundbreaking ceremony is open to the public. So 23rd of December through 2nd of January, I couldn't find anything on my calendar other than Christmas and New Year's. So Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's to everybody. So now I want to give you an update on this recreation economy for rural communities. It's a grant ultimately sponsored by the EPA. It's administered by the Appalachian Regional Commission, and they've gotten some consultants that are going to facilitate us developing this recreation economy strategy. It's to focus on recreation, tourism, Main Street development. It's overall using recreation and tourism as an economic development enhancer. And in our application, we pulled on not just Columbiana, but connecting the dots with Columbiana and our region. So basically, if you're going from west to east in a 20-mile line, it's Montevallo, Calera, Columbiana, and Lay Lake. And our theme included sort of connecting the dots with historical events, maybe and patriotic events in Columbiana. Try to connect the Washington Museum here in Columbiana with the American Village, and Montevallo maybe have cycling events, half marathon, that type of thing, as well as perhaps put together some trails, maybe not necessarily a rails to trails type of thing, because that involves using abandoned rail beds, but it might follow a path similar to the railroad track, and then connect it to the Heart of Dixie Railroad Museum in Calera. And then also, it was a way for us to try to capitalize and take advantage of a great resource that we have that's really, depending upon where you go, whether it's Beeswax Creek or whether you go out to Lay Lake and around the 4-H Center, they're 4 and 5 miles respectively from our city limits, so they're not far at all. It has a Columbiana address, even though it's not in the city limits, so we'll claim it anyway. And so we've had an introductory call. We've had a initial planning session, virtual meeting, a Zoom meeting, and then we've had to do a community self-assessment. We have a very robust steering committee that includes Shelby County. It includes Montevallo, Calera, and Columbiana, and also a representative from the Regional Planning Commission of Greater Birmingham. And we have folks from University of Alabama and Auburn University also on our steering committee. So we got some really, really great folks. And eventually, we have another phone call later this week on the 8th. That'll be our second. There'll be another one in January, and then later in January, 19th to 20th, there will be a 2-day on-site event where the consultants and all of our team will come here. And so even though we've got a robust steering committee, what we're looking for is trying to get a diverse and broad base of participation and support from across our community. So the work sessions or the workshops that are going to be on site here in Columbiana are going to be open to the public. They, in the kickoff call, some communities that they've done these projects with have had between 50 and 100 people show up at these work sessions because people are really interested in these types of things. And of course, we'll do that, and after the work sessions, there's a series of meetings basically to implement the strategy or the plan that we have pulled all the data and everything together and to put it into some sort of cohesive format. And that'll be a series of meetings from January to April, and then we will publish the final plan in May. So the funding for this is simply paying for the consultants who are going to facilitate that. We know our communities better than anybody, so the effort and the work will be ours. And so we're looking for volunteers, anybody who thinks they would be interested, outdoor recreation, parks, recreation facilities, hiking trails, biking trails, whatever it might be, tourism type activities. If you're interested in those things, by all means, contact me at City Hall and we'll be happy to put you to work. So that's that. Questions? Going once, going twice. Okay, we'll go to the next chart. Events or
All right, so we are in December and it is busy. This Friday night, we will do Christmas in the Park again and the Main Street, Columbiana's Moonlight Market. So South Main Street will close at 5 o'clock. From 5 to 8, there'll be snow in Old Mill Square Park. The Moonlight Market starts at 6 on South Main. All the businesses will be open, most of them anyway. And then at 6, the Columbiana United Methodist Church is going to come and do free crafts with kids in Old Mill Square Park. So it should be a really fun night. That's this Friday night. Next Friday night, December 16th, the train is coming, the Polar Express is coming to Old Mill Square Park. So Santa and the Polar Express will come Friday night, the 16th. And then on the 23rd, we will just do snow.
So I was thinking that next Christmas parade, we'll get the old trolley all spruced up and everything, pull it behind the Polar Express, and then have these guys doing that hot chocolate dance up and down the thing. So that would be pretty cool. All right, any questions or comments for Allie?
No, I talked to the point about the Polar Express. I talked to him the other day, and if you get a chance to talk to him and let him show you how he built it, it's pretty interesting. It took him 2.5 months, and it's an interesting little project.
Yeah, Jim was trying to explain it to me at the parade, how he did it, but it's
Yeah, it's
cool.
fascinating.
I'm surprised it didn't take longer than 2.5 months.
I observed that we were lacking on the snow this year than from last year.
We did have a little bit of snow issues.
Yes, we
Apparently,
did.
got some new snow machines and they go through the snow juice pretty fast. So we are more prepared this week for lots more snow. So I think they went through, I can't even remember, it was like 15 gallons of snow mix last Saturday, and then, it was gone. So there'll be more.
Wow.
Did you buy 2 new ones and still have the other 2?
Yeah, and still have the others.
Oh, okay.
So it's safe to say there wasn't a blizzard last weekend?
There was not a blizzard, it was just a little sprinkle.
It snowed
Blizzard.
So we'll work on it this year.
He had a very quick dump. Of course, that's typical for snow in Columbiana.
And the trees were shrinking this year. They had
shrink.
shrink, yes.
Well, they're a lot nicer
I
than
thought they
were
were,
last
yeah,
year.
they were.
They all came from Cedar Creek this year, and last year they were dead when we bought
They were
them.
fun, but
So
they
at
were
least
sad.
they're alive.
They were sad.
Small but alive.
So I
Yeah.
think there's like 3 or 4
There
that
are,
still
and I
weren't
sold
decorated.
One of those we
Yeah.
got sponsored today, so
Okay.
that's awesome.
Good. All right, any comments from anyone else? Open to public comments. Okay, there aren't any.
Now, I did put a small piece of gutter by the rec building, so if you can, somebody could extend that pipe at the corner, that would help the water situation there.
Where's, you say you put a piece of gutter?
Yes, I tried to
On
save
the
some
building?
money that-
She stole a downspout from the high school.
Yeah.
That's probably more information than we
I was
need.
gonna say, can we get that on video, please?
Chief? Get your cuffs ready.
I got it on the dumpster. I'm trying to save you some money.
So it's
All you have to do-
So it's a downspout.
It's a downspout, yes, it runs from the
All right.
building, and all you have to do is connect it to the
I'll
pipe.
have the Public Works Department take a look at it
Yes,
tomorrow.
I told Alan Reynolds to fix it and it's still down, and so.
I'm not Alan.
All right,
I'm trying to get it fixed.
we'll follow up on
And
it.
then that little, vent that goes, the air vent, it keeps falling out and I just basically tied it to a rock. So, I'm trying to take care, because if the Boy Scouts goes up and down the steps and we try to take care of the building, we try to help y'all take care of
Well,
the building.
please at any time there's an issue, please let Alan know, and if you don't get, timely response, let me know, and, because, if you don't tell us, if the people who use the facility don't tell us what the problems are, I drive by it, yeah, I drive by it every day, and then it's one of those things you look but you don't see,
Well, we're
'cause
trying to keep it up. Scouts really does, and I don't think sometimes it's noticed as much. And
But we
do
appreciate
try to take care of the can buggy, but people use it as a garbage dump.
Okay, any other comments?
I'd like to congratulate Kim on the addition of her first grandchild.
Hey, amen, yes, excellent,
I'm
congratulations.
very proud.
I am.
First,
He's a
first
cute
grandson,
little
right? Uh-oh.
His name is Ace.
Okay.
Ventura?
He is a little thing.
He can come say the pledge in a few months.
There you go. All right. Any other comments from anyone? Okay, if not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.